Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another quick pick prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the lightweight bout between Manuel Torres versus Trey Ogden. So Torres versus Ogden, how I see from right here is I'm gonna go low confidence Ogden here to beat Manuel Torres. When I look at Manuel Torres, I can see the skill, I can see where he's going with himself or whatnot, but level of competition is definitely very questionable. His best two wins are one guy that probably maybe a little bit undersized and not even UFC caliber, and then another guy he fought was UFC caliber for a period of time, but hadn't won a fight in years, got knocked out, then had not fought from 2020 to like the end of 2022, something like that. And again, was skidding even going into that fight or going into that inactivity, and a fighter that takes a lot of damage by his style and by his choice. And with Manuel Torres, he put damage on a fighter that's already had accumulated a lot of damage in his career, so it's not like he did nothing all that impressive. Ogden, on his side, he isn't the most impressive fighter either, well, at least to note, to date. But when he has lost in the UFC, his only loss is to Jordan Levitt, who's another, BJJ black belt. And, they had a BJJ black belt type fight, like awkward striking matchup. It ended up like with some grappling positions here and there, but for the most part, just a lackluster, weird fight on the feet. And the last fight beat Zellhuber, who's a promising prospect who probably still will go on to have a decent career, and he just simply outworked the young kid. Now going ahead with Torres, who has a lot of losses by submission. In actuality, both of these guys, most of their fights have been lost by submission, but the more accredited grappler is by far Trey Ogden. And I feel like Trey Ogden, for the most part, has fought better competition. His competition has actually made it to the UFC. And whereas I think Torres only has one fighter that has in the UFC, now this guy he just pretty much kicked out of the UFC, who was already on the downtrend. Whereas at least Ogden now has fought two UFC caliber fighters, guys that's probably gonna be in the UFC for at least the next 3, 4, 5 years, or at least next 3 years, as opposed to a guy that's has struggled to have success in UFC, and you pretty much kicked him out the door. But enough with the UFC MMA math. I just feel like, again, Trey Ogden is the more accredited grappler. Both of these guys have had at least most of their losses come by submission. I'm gonna go with the guy with the more accredited grappling to win and the more experience. And I feel he can. And also, it's not like Ogden has been some chinny fighter who gets knocked out all the time. Like, again, most of his losses have come by submission. It hasn't come by getting knocked out or getting rocked or anything like that. It's been submission, like in guillotine. Like what two-thirds of those losses were to the same guy, or the majority of those losses, or two-thirds of the submission losses were to the same guy. Like 3 submission losses, I think he got like 2 decision losses or something. But nonetheless, I just feel like low confidence here. I just feel Ogden will be able to at least. And also, Ogden not that bad on the feet. I say obviously. It's not no obvious thing, but honestly, he's not the worst on the feet. He's okay on the feet. Wouldn't write home about his striking, but he's actually respectable enough on the feet. I feel like he can hold his own on the feet enough that he could get it to the grappling. I don't like his takedown offense all that well, but I do feel that he can mix it up, get it to the ground, and possibly get like submission, like second or third round. I'm gonna say second round submission for Trey Ogden. So in this one, I got Trey Ogden via second round submission.